Hi, and welcome back to the Baby Mothers podcast. I'm your host, Nofisa Caseman, and our other beautiful host is
Rachel. And we're here today with two other beautiful women. And who are you?
I'm GHAMZEH. I'm here to, I think this, I've been in different podcasts, but this is my first one that I'm actually speaking on. So I'm quite excited.
Oh,
welcome.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm Gracie Baccarat from the MILF and Honey podcast. I'm sure people already have heard my voice a few times, so I don't need to say too much, but yeah.
Okay, beautiful. And today we're going to be talking about life after divorce. Like, I'm really excited about this episode.
I am. Do you know, I've got so much to say today as well.
Really?
Yeah, I've got so many questions.
Because neither of us have been married, we're really excited to learn some interesting facts about marriage and divorce and what we should not do.
Take a drink. Why are you coughing over there? Back it.
So tell us just a little bit about who you are.
GHAMZEH. I'm a mum of one. My daughter is 6. I work non-stop. I have fun. I have so many different jobs, trying to juggle, bills. I'm a creative director for a Iranian TV channel.
Oh, nice.
I'm also a PA for a property management company. I also do lashes.
But I got 2 boys, 4 and 5, divorced at 27. Yeah, I got divorced at 27.
You got divorced at 27?
Yep.
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's not that long ago.
Yep, not that long ago. We got married at 23.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I was 23 when I got married, so it was quite young.
How long were you with
A
each
total,
other?
married and together, 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we were together for a long time, but yeah.
And how did you meet?
I went to a family friend barbecue and just got my attention. And then it was Facebook time. So like he messaged me on Facebook and then we just started talking. I think we met on probably like a Saturday. And by Monday he was my boyfriend.
No ways. Did you move quite quickly? Because at 20,
Yeah.
did you get married at 23?
I feel like
No,
back
to get
then
married,
it was very much simpler, right?
Yeah.
Do you like me? I like you. Let's date.
And
Now
we just
it's
got together. By Monday we was boyfriend and girlfriend, and that was it until we got married at 20. I was 23, he was 25, going 26. After I left uni, it just felt like it was the next thing to do. Like, what are we doing? I finished uni, like
get married.
Yeah.
Why not?
and we both wanted kids, and I was not going to have kids out of marriage. I just wasn't going to. Yeah.
And was it a family decision as well, or is it just...
It was between me and him. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't our family's decision for us. So yeah.
Again, we're speaking about culture, but with my culture, you get married. Full stop.
And that's it.
You might be in an abusive relationship, whether it's physical, whether it's financial, you just stick together.
And how do you feel about that? Sorry.
I think there's 50-50. I believe in it because you work hard at it.
To make it work.
Yeah, I think with my relationship, he just was so quick to go, where I feel like if we were in Iran, it was like, okay,
You ain't
we
going
can't
nowhere.
because
It's a
one,
process.
there's so many consequences when you get divorced in Iran. So I think that's a good thing because you kind of work through it, and if it doesn't work out, then you might.
It's like
go
a
to-
real last resort,
yes,
not just
the
quick to run away.
Last result. But I think here it's just like as soon as something happens, like it automatically. It's just in the back of your mind. Oh, I could get a divorce. Well, I'm not going to live like this for the rest of my life, and you just don't bother with the whole. I wanted to bring my family into it. I wanted to bring therapists into it. I wanted to like try different things, but he didn't. He was like divorce, and my ex-husband is in the music industry.
Okay.
So I don't really date. I'm very hard to get. I like to, not in a specific, like not because I'm too good for you. It's just because I like to take my time.
Okay.
So he kind of messaged me on Twitter. I ignored it. Then he's got his management to message me, try to book me for like a video and stuff. I refused for 6 months.
Okay.
And then I kind of was like, all right, let's see what's going on. He wasn't my type.
So you let him chase you.
Yeah, I think it wasn't because it was him or anyone. I'm just that sort of person. I just feel like you have to hit certain things before you can even speak to me or talk to me or date me or, because I don't really date. I've always been that way as well.
So you got into a deep relationship with this guy, and how long were you together for before you decided that you wanted to take it to the next step?
So I had that day, I said, what do you want?
Okay.
Because I'm here for marriage, kids, family, mortgage, dog, all that.
The whole thing.
Yeah, because if you're not, and it wasn't a forced thing, it was very much these are my cards, this is how I was raised, this is how I like to raise our kids. If you want to have fun, just be honest. I'm very much a person, just be honest. Whether he hurts someone or not, be honest. And, you know, he turned around and he said he wants the same because he has a history of, like, you know, very bad things in the past he's done. And because he's a public figure, it's all over the papers and stuff. So for him, it was very much like, I want the same. I went the wrong way about it.
Right.
Before. So he's talking about his past.
Yeah.
So he's kind of saying he learned from his past.
Yeah. A lot of people there's always certain comments that go, well, you should have known. You know his past.
Yeah, that's
and
the
I
first
think
thing, isn't it?
with the only way I can explain is, whether you know someone's past or not, when you fall in love, you forget. You're blinded. You kind of go, oh. But with him, he really sat me down, reassured me and said, I've done. And he told me things that are not in the papers. And he was like, I've done this. I don't want to, because he has another daughter. He goes, I don't want to raise my daughter like this. I want a good girl. I want a nice family. I want to, you know, I want to make sure I'm getting older and I want to build a relationship. And everyone makes mistakes, and I want to learn, and I want to go forward with you with this. And I thought, who am I
and that's
to
fair.
say? 100%.
That is fair. Because your past doesn't dictate your future.
It doesn't,
you
because
know?
we've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we regret. It's just, you know, it's about whether you really want to change and go forward. And at that moment, I was like, okay.
Did you believe what he was saying?
Oh, 100%.
You
because
felt it.
I feel like I can't, not that I couldn't, but I wouldn't introduce anyone to my parents if they didn't hit a certain, there's no point me going, I've got another boyfriend, mum. You know, already I was scared to tell my parents anyways.
I'm a lot older now, so like my emotions are very different.
You was 23.
Do you know what I mean?
23.
And for me, that engagement, that marriage, that all of that, I can't talk about it in awe. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't talk about it and be giddy and be like, oh my gosh, she did this, because everything that's happened in our marriage kind of dissolves that.
But I'm so different to that, because even though he was, the way we ended is such an, like,
nasty.
so bad.
See, ours wasn't even
We have no
nasty.
relationship now. So it's just, you know, I would be the one going, no, it was like rubbish and this. But I can't lie. I feel like, because it was my first engagement, I was just like...
in quote unquote the marriage, like if someone asked me would I get married again, 100%, because I believe what I had wasn't marriage. I feel like what I had was just two people who was like boyfriend and girlfriend, but just had legal documents to say they were married.
Right.
That's how I
a lot of people say
to be
marriage.
honest,
Yeah, piece of paper, isn't it?
I couldn't even call my marriage a marriage. I got married, he left 2 weeks after. So technically.
Right.
We're going to get to that.
So that, you know, I know what you mean with
me,
the whole,
it
if I get
wasn't-
married, it would be...
Ready to do it again.
100%.
And experience it in a
100%.
different
Did you
way.
feel that? Sorry, I'm only asking this question because I got married 6 years ago. I only got my divorce 2 months ago.
Oh wow, okay.
So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a long process though, isn't it? That's a long time.
It depends.
So I feel like I went through a good few years going, never getting married again.
Nah.
Yeah.
And it's only now when I go, well, no, I'm not letting him control how I feel about a situation. But it took me a really long time.
I remember when I told my aunt that I was getting a divorce, I was so scared, because in our family, like, we're very, very close. So even the planning, we had meetings, all of that kind of stuff, like for my weddings and stuff like that. So to go to them and tell my big auntie and my auntie, like we have an auntie called Auntie B, and I remember I told her, I was like, oh, auntie, I'm leaving this marriage. And I was so scared.
I
and
can
she
imagine.
was just like, if that's what you want. And it was a weight off my shoulder.
Yeah.
And then she was just like, the problem is you never dated that much, so you didn't know.
You didn't get to
You didn't get to
experience.
understand what you don't and do not like.
Yeah.
You just met one person, decided to
And you
be
were
with
young.
him.
Yeah.
So you had nothing to compare it to. But it was when my friends started getting into serious relationships, getting married. Yes, you shouldn't compare, but you have more exposure to what relationships can be like.
Exactly,
And you
that's the
realize
thing.
that. So I'm not crazy for feeling uncomfortable here. So yeah.
Some people just settle for what they have because they think they, you know,
There's
the
nothing
grass
else.
isn't greener.
Yeah.
But it definitely is. You can definitely meet somebody who ticks all your boxes.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
can.
what you said in regards to, because I was very much like, I don't want to date. You know, if I meet someone, I'm going to marry. But I feel like that, don't want to say it's a wrong thing, but maybe if I dated more,
Right.
I would get to know myself a little bit
And
more.
what you want and what you don't want.
You know, because I was like, if my daughter grows up and she wants to date, would I be like my parents and be like, no? Where now I'm like, no, she has to date. She has to learn different personalities.
So what happened next?
Went to our new place. So we rented a place. So we moved in as soon as we got married. I think 2 days later we moved into our place. And he was just like, I don't know, you know when you sense something, you're like...
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
And he kind of bought
Definitely.
it, and I just didn't expect it. And I think he spoke about a little bit money situation. So I focused on that. I was like, oh, it's a money okay. We're struggling a little bit, even though I paid for the entire wedding.
Right.
I was like,
You paid for the entire wedding?
yeah, he said he will pay back. So that's why I was like, you know, it's cool. Yeah, you can take your time. You know, it's fine.
Wow.
And he never stays out. So when he has a booking, he always comes home. And he was staying out. And I thought, the second week, I sat him down. And I was pregnant. So I was pregnant while we were planning.
She was pregnant before you got married?
Yeah, because we
Okay.
planned to have kids. So he sat down, he goes, come off the pill. And I was like, I don't know. And he goes, once we get married, you know, it's going to take a long time for your body to kind of adjust. And I was like, cool, because I want to be pregnant after the wedding. You know, that was my thing, to get married and then have kids.
Right.
And I fell pregnant straight away. So while we're planning the wedding, so when we got married, I was 2.5 months pregnant.
Okay.
So yeah, that second week, I sat him down and we hadn't even opened presents, like things were in boxes. We hadn't even fully moved in. We had a couch, but it was all empty in the living room. And I just said, just speak your mind.
Right.
I was like, I just want to know the truth. Even if it's hard, I just want you to be honest. Like we've always been honest with each other. It doesn't matter if there's anything.
Tell me.
Just tell me. And he said, I love someone else.
How long after your wedding was this?
2 weeks.
Oh my God.
So is
And
he with that someone else now?
no, babes, come on. People, impulsive people don't really, you know. And I said it,
Wow.
kind of cringy, but I think I'm okay with it now, because before I kept on kicking myself going, why didn't you just leave? But I sat him down and I said, let's try for a year. Let the baby come at least, and then we can kind of just see
if this is...
we don't have to do anything. We can just be friends.
Right.
And then after 1 year exactly on this date, let's sit down and say, is
Revisit.
it working? You know, is it not? Do we stay friends? Because we just got our place. We've just put a deposit down. We've just got married. Like, do we give the presents back? Like, I'm not opening presents.
Was you afraid? Was you afraid of doing this alone?
And then,
Is that
you
what
know,
kind of-
and I remember I said to him, what am I going to tell my parents? Like that was my one thing, because I was like, what am I going to tell my parents? Because the fear of disappointment, of them being scared of like going, because it's such a, like in Iranian culture, when you get divorced, the man can go and move on. The woman is looked as used. So no one wants to marry you again.
Okay.
Okay.
Not that it happens here, but my parents is the disregard and is the embarrassment of the family name. So for me, I was like, oh my God, what am I and I have a baby. And I was
Yeah, I
like,
was gonna say,
and
the
I said,
baby
we can get rid
situation
of the
is the worst,
baby, because then that way maybe we can work things out. He agreed to that. And then I remember I said, what am I going to tell my parents? And he goes, I didn't marry your parents. And I think my light bulb went, and I went, okay. And that's all I said. I said, that's fine.
Really?
And then he left, and he texted me that night a whole essay, like how he's still in love with his ex-wife, because he didn't want to mention the new girlfriend. So he tried to go, I'm sorry, I respect you, you've been a great stepmom, I would never hurt you, I would never do this, but where I am in life, he just kind of tried to point fingers at himself to say, it's me, it's not you.
It's not you, like, yeah.
And I literally just copied and pasted, because my sister is the person, she's very logical. She doesn't do emotions. She's very much like, this is the situation.
like,
And we'll go, So I was like, forget my friends. I just need someone I can just go to, because this is serious. And I copied and pasted it. And I just waited for her. You know, when you see them typing, and I was like, she's typing. What's she going to say? And she just bullet pointed, because I'm very much, I get anxiety, I get nervous, I just start pacing around. I can't think straight. So she put bullet points. She goes, pack your stuff. You're going to email your landlord. You're going to explain the situation. You're going to give the money back. You're going to move in with me. We're going to go and deliver this baby. And she just pointed everything step by step of how things are going to work. And I thought, it's never going to work, because in my mind, I can't see it, because I was like, oh my God. And then he just went to Italy.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He went to Italy and he didn't answer my calls. He didn't do his mum didn't even know.
Wow.
So when he went out in the papers, his mum's calling me going, what? What's going on? And I was like, you need to talk to your child because I don't even know. And that's when, I kind of was like, you need to pick yourself up and just do what you need to. And I just remember I called my dad, which was so embarrassing. I was like, I just need to unpack. And he came with the smallest van. And I was like, Dad, I've got like a bed, a couch, a TV and everything. And then he was like, pick what you need. And I was like, I got rid of so much stuff. To this day, I think that's what I regretted. I picked up the main things. And I remember I walked in the bedroom with my dad and we both looked and there was a little table and he had put his ring there.
Jeez.
And I just looked at it and I was like, okay. And I just packed everything I could. And then I went and lived with my sister.
Okay. You are a strong woman, girl.
That's painful because when you're pregnant as well and someone's 2 weeks after a wedding.
I think you just, when you're going through something, you just go, it's fine. I've got work. I was still working.
Distractions.
Distractions.
I kept myself distracted.
That's what a lot of women do.
You need to have distractions, otherwise you're going to send yourself crazy.
I think if I didn't have a child, I think it would have gone definitely a wrong way because I hit depression really quickly. And I think for me, in my mind, I was like, don't do something to the baby.
You got to be strong for this
Don't be
child.
stressful for
Don't
something
affect
to
the
happen
child.
to
Yeah.
the baby.
Yeah.
I was like, I just kept on thinking. I thought I wasn't stressed, but the baby came 2 months early.
Yeah.
So that, it was just a lot.
But that was a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
That
Anybody
is a
would have
lot.
been stressed.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, it's just, and you blame yourself. What could I have done? And you say things like, if I dated, could I have been a better wife? Maybe I wasn't a good enough girlfriend.
You had
or
2
wife.
weeks to be a wife. I'm sorry.
Exactly, yeah.
Let me
You
figure
didn't have
that
long
one
to...
out.
It's just things that you ask yourself.
Right,
It's
right.
not
Yeah.
like it's true,
Yeah.
but it's just the things that go
it's
in
the
your mind.
conversations.
And you go, what are you...
What
and
could I
then
have
you
done
hear
better?
people going, well, you should have known. I'm like, should I have known?
That's the part
Maybe,
you should have known,
Yeah, it's
that's
just
what
such
gets you.
And no one can help you. Like, you've got friends and stuff that support you, but what can they say?
Yeah.
You're strong, and you're like, I am, thank you.
Wow.
But then you just like, and then like, I'm here for you.
Are you?
But then what does that mean?
Yeah.
Because when
How
I'm
far
crying
can
in my
you-
bed alone, not that they didn't want to be, because my friends have been my like support system, but like you've got no one. You have no one you can talk to. And, I vented a little bit on Twitter and it got posted all over like the papers. And I was like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that bitter. And I'm so into like, don't ever blame the other woman. And I kind of said something about the girl and it wasn't nice. And I think it wasn't her fault. Like,
Yeah, it's
you
not-
know,
it's not
did
the
she
woman's
know,
fault,
Did she
yeah.
not know? I don't know, but it's never their fault.
Yeah.
And it's because I just wanted to get it out. I just was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I need to,
You're angry.
That's intense. But before you got married, was there any prenuptial agreement or anything like that? Or is it just...
No, because he's got nothing.
He had nothing.
He has nothing.
Was there any talks about it? Was there anything like,
No,
okay,
'cause
this
it's
is
all
what...
mine, like my
Okay.
stuff. So I remember he texted me, goes, take everything because that's what every woman does.
Because it's mine.
And it was
And
yours
I was
anyway.
like, I'm sorry, take what? Because the bed is mine, the couch is mine, the TV is mine, the cupboards are mine, the kitchen stuff's mine. What do you mean? Because he likes to put himself on social media as he's this big earning, but he's broke. He was broke. I knew this, but I loved him.
Fair
You know, I wasn't there for the money, for the fame. I was there because I genuinely
felt?
thought he was a good human being. I love his family. They're great. But yeah, there was nothing like that. We didn't have a home together.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were renting at the moment.
And you had a relationship with the daughter? He said that
Yeah,
he
we
was
had
a
a
good
relationship. I
stepmom,
still
yeah?
do as well.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, I kept that. I mean, it's difficult when you're broken up because I feel like you can be a nice person and go, well, have a relationship with my family if you need to. But I think he's one of those people that he thinks if I'm close with his family, they get to know, they hear things, the truth.
Okay, right.
And he's very closed off. He doesn't like anyone knowing anything about him. So he kind of made that hard. So the relationships are very hard. But I try to keep it because my daughter is obsessed with her sister. And she loves being,
That's cute.
so I try and keep it, you know, but it's kind of, she's now growing up a little bit. So it's hard, because then I have to speak to her mum rather than the dad and trying to get together. It's just, it's so hard.
What about you, Gracie? So what was your experience of once you got married?
We got married a year later. we got pregnant. Everything was fine. But it's so funny because I started realizing I wasn't happy before I had my first child. And I remember I'd spoken to someone and I said, I don't know if I want to stay in this. And they were like, what about all the money you spent for the wedding?
Oh,
no.
That was the first statement, and it just made me feel like
guilt, right?
Yeah. Or what would your family say?
Wow.
And
What was it that was giving you this type of vibe?
I just felt I wasn't appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
It was more for me, it was appreciation. And not in his defense, but I think the issue with him was he hadn't had any other girlfriend or anything, or any other serious girlfriend. So to him, this was the norm of how girls behave. But I think now that we've separated, he realizes that's not the case.
What do you mean this was the norm? What do you, like, how
So
did
my
you
mum
behave?
raised me as a Nigerian girl. So cooking, cleaning, being a wife, being supportive, all of that.
You was all
that's
there.
just how I am.
Okay.
Even with my friends, like I'm always going to be there. Like I'm the one that I can have £5 left and I'll give you my last. Do you know what I mean? I'm
nice.
a rider. Do you know what I mean? I am actually a rider. Now that I'm not in it anymore, I realize how much of my mental state I gave to it. I was really tired. I was working hard. I had a hair business at the time. So I was working my hair business and I was doing my 9 to 5 and I was doing lashes as well. So I turned one of the rooms to a studio and I just felt, you're not giving me.
Was he working?
He was working, but it was... I can't put the words. You just have to be there to understand. You know, there's certain things you just can't explain. And I just felt at one point maybe I wanted it more.
And did you want more from him?
Yeah, but one thing I'll say is he loved me. There was no doubt at all. Like, he loved me. But
Did you have these conversations with him? Like, you don't appreciate me?
so I'm not really good at confrontation when it comes to me having to be vulnerable. So if it's a case where I feel like I'm being vulnerable, I'm a bit hesitant. I'm the kind of person that gives you a couple of chances in my head.
Yeah.
And then if I feel like you're not getting it, then I'll start speaking about it.
Yeah.
So I think I started speaking up when we got to child 2.
Okay.
Like,
So you're deep in it now.
yeah. So, and this was during the pregnancy. No, I started speaking about it when my firstborn was like maybe 3. Like I was pregnant, but my second one wasn't here yet. And he just wasn't getting it. And when I think about it, I'm a very logical thinker. I actually don't blame him because the way you lay your bed is the way people sleep in it. He's thinking, I've been like this all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the issue?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Why are you...
Trying to change me now?
And it's not that I was trying to change you. It's just that I just thought in my head that as we get married and we start having responsibilities, the same way I'm changing and, you know, adjusting.
Yeah.
I thought you would do the same. And he wasn't.
So you had expectations.
Yeah.
You had expectations.
I had expectations that maybe hadn't been articulated clearly. And after the second child came, I travelled, I think he was 3 months. And I came back and I said I was done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
So that was it. You just, I was going to say to you, when did this?
I said to him, I said, oh, you know what? I think when you sort out 1 or 2 things, we should go on a break. You should move out. And
really?
yeah, I said, you move out. Let's separate for a bit and then see if we can make this work because I'm actually not happy. Because before I'd gone, I'd already said, let's go therapy. Let's do this. And he'd say stuff like, I'm not going to go somewhere and they're going to tell me I'm right. You know, it was that kind of, yeah. So I just thought, okay. And then that night, something came out, like I found out something. I was like, you know, actually, just leave.
And how long did your divorce process take then? Because I know you said yours took about 6 years, didn't it? So was yours quite quick or is it a lengthy time as well?
I said to him, the only thing I wanted from him was to do the divorce. Like after everything, the least you could do was just give me the divorce.
Yeah. Right.
And he just kept prolonging it. So one day I just woke up and I did it myself. And luckily for me, it was easy. I didn't even need to go to no court. We just did everything online.
Yeah,
He signed it.
Even that,
Yeah, I paid
like
the fee.
the fact that you can get divorced so quickly. Because when I found out you can do online, I was like, what?
Yeah, I just did it online. I paid for it.
Okay.
I was just like, I think.
But did he have to sign it though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I called him up and I said,
So
listen,
he did sign it.
I'm sending the divorce because I've waited for you to do it and you haven't done it. And for me, I just feel like it's holding me in bondage. Like, not physically, but just that mental thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And
'Cause
around
you're
that
still
time, I started
attached.
talking to guys and stuff like that. And I just
Yeah.
felt a bit icky
Yeah.
knowing that I'm legally married, all of that stuff. And I just thought, Yes, I just didn't.
Did it affect your kids in any way? How did it affect the kids? So obviously there's somebody there for how many years, and the next day they're gone. Obviously, I think
it's difficult for you.
Yeah.
With mine,
she wasn't born yet.
He wasn't there. I kept on taking her so he could see her.
Right.
For the first year and a half, and then I think he met another girl he was in love with. Then met another girl he was in love with. Then he met the lady that he's with now. He's busy. That he's with now, and she fell pregnant quite quickly.
Okay.
And I remember, he said, "Can I come and see her?" I was like, "Of course, come and see her." And she was like 1.5, I think. So she kind of knew him. Like I made it very, I had a picture of him and her in my house. So I wanted her to know her dad. I would FaceTime every time he would pick up or call. So I would try and get, because I wanted her to know her dad. I was very much like, he came with his new girlfriend and she was sitting in the car outside my house, and he came in and I was like, no, she's going to come in. Yeah. I'm Iranian. I need to serve her some tea and pastries. And I didn't want to have that relationship. She had nothing to do with it. Yeah. So I wanted, and she has another child. So I was like, we're going to be having to cooperate. She's going to look after my child because I looked after his first daughter and he kept me and his other baby mum separate. Right. Okay. It's only until we broke up that we communicated. Yeah. But, I could understand because I was looking after her child. And it's quite scary. I wasn't a mum then. But being a mom, I was like, God, every time like she's coming to my house, I'm looking after her kid. I'm doing her hair. I'm washing her. I'm seeing her naked. I'm, helping her get dressed. And, as a mom, it's like, I feel like she would have been more calmer if she could have a relationship with me and trust me. Yeah. Because everyone, asks me, do you hate her? Well, I don't, because she's going to look after my child. I want her to, I hope they're together and there's love and there's whatever needs to be that's positive, because my daughter, if he ever wants to see his daughter, she's going to be in that environment. But he kind of, as soon as she fell pregnant, that's when I said, well, did you plan the baby? And he said, of course, which I don't know whether it's true or not. And I said, great. If you planned it, that means 2 adults sat down and said, I have a child, you have a child. I have another child, I have 2 child, you have a child, and we're going to bring another child into this world. Are we able? Because you must have had that conversation, and if you must have said yes because she's pregnant. So now you have to be consistent. You have to give me money, and you have to look after your daughter, because if you're well enough to have another child, you're well enough to be a consistent father. And that's when it all stopped, the communication.
Okay, right. And so does he look after his daughter, or is he absent at the moment?
He says, and I have to be honest, he wants to see his daughter. I believe he does want to see his daughter, but he wants to see his daughter if his work doesn't get in the way, if he need,
so it's not her priority, is it? Right. It's not a priority at the moment.
I'm very much a mum that you either are consistent or you're not there. I'm very, because sometimes my friends go, but if he wants to see you every now and then, I'm like, no.
It is confusing, yeah. It's not good for their mental state. Children can be affected by this a lot.
He will see her every 3 months, every 6 months, and I don't think that's enough.
No, it's not.
My parents we lived in Windsor, and my parents got a dog. I was seeing that dog every weekend. Yeah. Like, if you can't see your own child every weekend.
So have you stopped? So you're deciding, you've made a decision?
The door is open.
Oh, okay.
As long as you can be consistent. And I've said to him, and I've got, the thing is, whatever I say, there's evidence. I'm not making it up. There's emails. There's everything I've written. I've said, you can see her once a week, twice a week, once every month, once a year. Once every. It just needs to be consistent. And he says, I will be consistent as long as my work allows me, because I have to work. But he says to HMRC he doesn't work. So you've got do you work? Because if you work, you've got to pay me some money.
You guys.
Because you don't have work. So it's like, what's going on? And, keep the money. I've not asked I've never asked him for money until he had another child. So I was like, now you're able to give me money. But I never asked him for a specific amount. I just said, you don't need to even give me cash, just buy her things.
And how did that go for you? How did it go, that whole process for you? Because I was in the same situation, and I still am in the same situation. I've just let it go now, but...
I mean, you can't really do much, because I did the whole child maintenance, registered when she was 1.
Right.
But they can't do nothing,
If they're declaring they have nothing.
Yeah, right, okay. And he's very smart, I've lived with him for 5 years. He doesn't register himself anywhere.
Okay.
And I mean anywhere.
So he's
phone, Sky.
He's unknown.
Like, he is unknown. Everywhere we lived, it was either someone else's name or my name.
Oh, wow.
Car finance, my name. Everything was registered to someone else. All letters. He stopped me from sending letters, like all my letters, banks and stuff. And the reason he said, I'm famous, so if people find out where I live, that's going to be tricky for me. And I believed it.
Oh, man.
It's like, you are famous. Oh, my God.
My
So I
baby.
was like, I'll send it to my mum's house.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, so it's only afterwards I was like, oh, this is why, because he's in a lot of debt. Bailiffs are at his mum's house every day. So it was very much of, you just, it's...
That sounds bad. How about your kids? Obviously, you've been living. They were of age to realise that their mum and dad are together, and then the next day, maybe
My
they're not.
second one didn't notice because
Okay.
he was
Okay.
still like months old.
Right.
My first one kind of did, but like I said, they were still quite young. 'Cause,
Okay.
my first, I think he was just 2 when
Okay.
I left, and the second was just a couple of months. So it didn't really impact them. He has access to them.
Good.
I just keep it as that.
Okay, so a lot of people are saying, like, so when we did our podcast the first time, a lot of people were on like some of the blog pages saying like, oh, well, if you just married before you carried, like everything would be different, right?
Yeah, they believe marriage is going to make everything better.
However, you guys have both married before you had children, but now you're divorced. And so do you call yourself single parents now?
I'm single.
Single. I'm a single
I
woman,
think
right?
with me is I'm a single parent, but I think if your partner sees, if the dad sees you're a single person, you're not a single parent. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm a single parent because I'm both mum and dad.
Right.
But if he was in her life, I'll be a single person.
Okay.
be a
So
single
I
parent.
differentiate the two.
Okay.
I'm single and I'm also a mother. If you want to know
Yeah.
what my situation
Yeah.
is, then you can ask me
Yeah.
that. But my status hasn't got anything to do with my
Yeah.
kids.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's how I...
Okay, so
Yeah,
what's your
definitely.
views on marry before you carry?
So each to their own.
Yeah.
But what I'll be very honest with is, I would say we're the problem. We're not.
What do you mean as,
in
women? Okay.
But I feel like we look past things. If we were to be really honest with us, a lot of us will not have kids with
Yeah.
some of the people we've
It's
had.
true. Yeah.
And it's
I
got
think we
nothing-
can.
Yeah, we
all-
were saying. I was saying
So I
before,
don't
just
think
pick
it's
up
got
on the
to
red
do
flags.
about whether
Yeah.
we're married or whether, like, I think having kids and your relationship status is
So,
two
yeah.
separate things.
I love
I
that.
think what it is that we date hope and intention, where we
date
date
potential.
hope and potential,
Yeah.
and we think things in our head without making sure that's what that person's thinking.
And we expect things, right?
And
A lot
sometimes,
of
as I think a few of us have been in this situation, we're sold something that's not really what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, because
And you have to find out later on.
when
So.
I speak about it, I always say that we agreed on the same thing.
Yeah.
He just
Okay.
didn't keep his end of
Yeah.
the bargain.
And sometimes
I
they
mean-
say things that aren't really what they want to do. They're just saying it to think that it's going to please you. So
Yes, that, and also it's like when I talk about wealth, I feel like everyone says they want money, everyone wants to be successful.
Are you willing to do the work?
But not everybody puts in the work.
Yeah.
So is that your experience? So he wanted it,
No, I just feel like I was young.
right?
He was also young. For a man, he was quite young getting married.
yeah,
And we just hadn't developed to who we were actually going to be.
Yeah.
There's some people that get married at young ages and it
And work
works.
out,
It
yeah,
works. They're still
yeah.
married and everything. But there's a risk when it comes to marriage.
Yeah.
Did I fight for my marriage? Nope, I didn't.
Okay.
Could I have probably tried a bit harder? I could have, but
Right.
I just wasn't ready to wish and hope again. I just
Okay.
couldn't do it anymore.
So you felt like he's never gonna be, or not anytime
It's not
soon
even that he's
gonna
never
be.
gonna be. I
You
just
were
don't
with him
care.
for a long time as well. I think
just-
when you
Yeah.
7 years, you said.
Yeah.
I think you know that person. I think it takes
No,
about.
I don't think so. Because when I think about it now, he has no idea what kind of person I am now, and that's not even because we're not together. It's because I'm like I've done like a 180.
Yeah, because
Right.
every 10, this is what they say, even with marriage, like every 10 years, you got to sit down and discuss who you are to
Because
your
you're
partner.
evolving,
'Cause
you're growing.
evolving, you know?
That's
So
what I think. I'm not obviously I'm not happy I'm a single mom, or like my kids are not living with their dad and all that stuff. But one thing I do know is my kids will always be their own person. Yeah. So what I do is I just try my best to raise them to be the greatest man I could potentially help them to be, because I'm a woman, so I don't understand what it is like to be a man, but I can read as much as I can.
And they still have their father as well.
Yeah, and I can explain things.
I love the way
she's just like dismissive at every point.
I can explain things to them as much as I can, and God has blessed me with uncles and family figures, do you know what I mean, that can express things to them, and I will get married again one day and all of that kind of stuff. So I do know, based on the experiences that I've gone through, I personally think my next marriage will be amazing, because
you've learned so much.
One, I'll be honest. I feel like us women are not honest with what we want. Like, I'll be very honest with what I want this time. Like, I want to feel desired. I want us to have these goals. But I also have learned that I have to also listen to what he's saying.
Being honest, but communicating as well. Because I feel like I kind of want things, but I'm not honest about it. I keep it in my head, and then I go, but why didn't he do this?
It's true. You go into it.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you go into it wanting these things. You know what you want in or out of a relationship. It's whether or not that person's going to give it to you or not, and you just don't know. If they say it takes 5 years to get to know someone, you know, I was in a situation where it took me years to get to know who they are.
You know, Iyanla Van Zandt.
I love her.
She says, I love what she says. She goes, when you speak to someone, you tell them whatever you want to tell them, and then you go, did you hear me? Can you tell me what you heard?
Yeah.
And like 90%, they respond with like something you're like, I didn't.
Completely different,
I've been in that situation before.
Just having that communication and then making sure that person understands what you've said, and vice versa. Because it helps, because sometimes you're like, I never told you that, or where did you get that from? And it's like, your words get
mixed up.
You know?
How are you finding dating now that you've gone through all of that kind of stuff?
Wow. I haven't dated.
Well, since?
Yeah.
So how long have you been single for?
6 years.
So I feel like I haven't dated in the whole last 6 years.
I kind of dated for a little bit someone I knew 3 years ago. And then, nothing. I think I was so caught up in being married, and I was like, I don't even want to date while I'm married. Not that there's anything wrong with it, because we worked together for a long time. And I think I was just a single parent. It was my first time. And it took a long time for me to adjust, because I feel like I dealt with depression. And I've never lived by myself. I'm from an Iranian family.
So you lived at home?
Where I lived at home, and I moved out when I met my ex-husband.
Right.
So then I became a wife. I've never been GHAMZEH. I've always been a daughter. And,
You've always had a
about
role.
finding you now.
Yeah, and it was like then I couldn't find myself because I had to be a mum. And then I was like, okay, which one do I
prioritize?
Yeah, and then I was like, I have to be a mum, because I didn't even have time for myself. And then I went into full-time work within 3 months of giving birth.
Yeah, that's like me.
And it was just very much like dealing with parenthood, work life, dealing with the whole business of just loneliness, just still loving him, still like thinking like not hoping to have him back, because I'm kind of glad he just was like, I don't want you, go away, because it kind of was like, I can't go back.
Right.
It was just
it forces you to breathe and move forward. Yeah.
And I'm the sort of person anyway, as soon as if someone doesn't want me, I'm gone. But I had a child, maybe I would have been different, because I still did say to him, let's try for a year. So it's been very hard. I would only say the last year, I think when COVID, last year and a half, I started therapy. And that's when I was like, I want to do it for myself. And this is the first time I'm like learning what I like, what I don't like. And I think I'm just about in a place where I don't mind dating. I didn't want to go into a relationship bitter and bring my baggage, my negative baggage into another relationship, not trusting him, not doing this. So it's like, I kind of spent this 6 years trying to find me. I don't know where I am, but
you're getting there, girl.
I'm getting there. I can see the work. I'm enjoying being single.
Okay, that's good.
And I think someone said to me, don't be single for too long, because you'll enjoy it, and then you're never going to want to be with someone else.
With that. What about you, Grace? What are you dating? Because I know I've watched a couple of your podcasts, and I know you're like in this space where you're really working on yourself now, right? And evolving. So what kind of men are you attracting now?
Oh God. When I first separated or we broke up, I was talking to people, but I was talking to people who were trying to talk to me, but they found out I was married, so they didn't. So when I think people start to, I think you always notice something's going wrong on Instagram when the pictures change and
like, it's just me.
Yeah, you just clock. And so there was that, and it was all right. But then I found myself dating similar guys to my ex.
Yeah.
So it was just like, what's the point of you breaking up with what you know at home to go and meet something else? So then after a while, I just took a break. And then I think the best thing that happened to me was COVID.
Okay.
Because I had so many silent moments. So I started to face the music and literally. So that's why I always say to people that being still is so important because you get to, like, I'm dating now. And when I think about like the kind of people or the person I'm talking to now and stuff like that, there's no way he would have wanted to speak to me if I was still the Grace that just left my marriage and or that hadn't had that still moment and stuff like that. I think dating is good, having fun is good, but don't follow a routine that you think is what you're meant to do. Just follow your personality. So for me, being still was needed. Yeah, for me. But for somebody else, you know, you could date and you're okay. Yeah. But I'd been in such, you got to remember, majority of my adult life, I was with him.
Yeah, you need to find you.
I only just started being an adult on my own when I was 27, going 28. So all I knew was him, and be it the bad traits, even like how I'd speak to men, it was based on what I was okay with doing with him. Whereas now, if he was to see me talk to like someone else, he would be so I could never talk with an attitude or
that feminine communication.
Yeah, I could never raise my voice because I'm at peace with myself now. Yeah. So like for me, dating right now it's good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I love
that's
that.
brilliant.
I love that for both
dating
of you.
is good. Right
I love your stories, and then you know the end part of it, and you're finding yourselves, and you know who you are now. It seems like you've evolved so much from that situation. So that's brilliant.
I think you've got to go through hardship because I didn't know finding yourself. I would talk about it. I'm finding myself, but you just don't know until you go through something hard. And then you're forced into
find out what you're made of.
So for me, when I realised I'd found myself is when I would make it clear I'm not happy about something, be it in a way someone's talking to me or how I'm being made to feel. Like I still, and one thing you have to understand is your personality doesn't necessarily change. So for example, I get really uncomfortable with being vulnerable to a guy in general. So that hasn't changed, but I still won't allow certain things to happen though. So finding yourself doesn't mean your personality will change. It means you're just going to know how to manage certain situations differently. So you can't shout at me. You can't raise your voice at me. I may not confront you. You just notice there is a shift. You can't change people, but you can change how they relate with you. Yeah. So you will just not have access to me anymore. So I think for me, my journey is a bit more of making myself a better person because in my marriage, even though I've made it clear he was the issue and everything, but I kind of facilitated a lot of those issues as well, being not speaking up, or how I made him feel and dismissing it and stuff like that. So
you've taken responsibility as well.
100%.
Okay,
cool. So any message you want to put out there for any women going through the same situation as you?
If you need to leave.
It's as simple as that.
That's big. It sounds
as simple
simple,
as that.
That is big.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you know in your heart it is worth fighting for, fight for it. I have no pride when it comes to a relationship. If you are my person and there's no violence, there's no all of those key things and we're just disagreeing, I'm going to fight for it until the point you tell me like you physically don't want this anymore and it's not good for you. I feel like people don't fight for things anymore.
It's true.
Yeah. I feel like
it's so easy. Yeah, it's so easy. Like, there's another one.
Even in
there's so many dating
even
apps.
in talking stages, I don't see what's wrong with telling a guy or deciding to try and work on that situation because you're in talking stages. I don't see why not. Unless you guys have made it clear that this is fun and you're changing your mind, that's different. But if you guys know you're talking and you're trying to work to something, be patient. I feel like we're not, as women, we're not as patient as we think we are.
Yeah, I can definitely agree.
Any last words, GHAMZEH?
I think it's so different with everyone, isn't it? It's just like about, I don't know, I think it depends your situation. I would say just listen to your gut. I think your gut tells you. And I think lean on people that are a little bit older or have experience, so you can kind of get their opinion, so you can get their expertise, or someone, the old school like the old, I was going to say the old parents, but like the older generation, like not that they know it all, but just to have a little bit of advice. And I think it's so hard because everyone's so different. Some people are willing to, try it out, even if it's like a really horrible relationship. It's all about what makes you happy. And can you see yourself in that same place in 10 years' time?
But you see that statement, can you see yourself in 10 years' time? You can't foresee what's going on.
No, so if you're unhappy,
yeah,
for example,
can you see yourself?
Situation, do you want to be in that situation?
Do you want to have that same feeling? Okay,
10 years' time.
Yeah.
And if it's no, then it's like you've got to do something.
Because this is the reality right now.
And I think you can only tell someone so much. Like, I don't like this, or I want this, or we should work on this. And if you don't see it change, and just red flags.
That's a big thing. You got to follow your gut.
Like, I had a few red flags, but I didn't get the red flags till I was dumped.
But
and I was like, that was a red flag.
Was you young? How old was you when you?
When I met him was 25.
Yeah, because all the issues I had in my marriage were traits he already had before. So
yeah,
right, okay. So was you just ignoring them?
I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for me, like one of the red flags, which I didn't even pay attention to. I saw it was when we were just, we were dating and we went to his mum's house and we were looking at pictures, at photo albums, because, they've got the old photo albums and stuff. And none of his friends were the same friends.
Right.
Oh, right. Okay. That's interesting.
He just keeps moving.
You noticed that, yeah.
He just keeps moving.
And I was like, because my friends, you see the album, even though I came to this country when I was 9, you see the same people every year, every birthday, and with him, it was just everyone's different.
See, I wouldn't see that as a red flag.
I didn't see that as a red flag then, but
looking back on it,
personality now is like he just gives up.
Right, okay.
He's impulsive.
It's just like next.
It's just like,
next
he
person,
messed up. Okay,
next person.
next. Yeah, he just lets go.
Right. And what was it that, you said there was a few red flags. For me, did you find the fact that you was paying for the whole wedding a red flag?
No,
or
because
you just was
we're
okay
partners.
with that?
If you're going to tell me you're going to pay me back, listen, I'll give you my blood to you, my life to you, my money to you. Because if you're going to...
You're better than me, girl.
Yeah, I think because when we went out...
Grace like, no, girl.
Yeah. So I believe in... Everyone that knows me knows I need a rich man.
Okay.
But see, once we're married, whatever's going on behind us is between me and you.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
No one knew this,
and that was before the wedding.
But that's why I say that, and that's why I'm so adamant now that I have to be with a guy that's earning a certain amount of money, or has to be a certain quality of life.
Yeah.
So if things do go wrong when we're married, I know it's because of that situation, not your traits or you.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess when you're in, we all say we're gonna do this.
When you're
once
in
you get married or once you're in love, everything changes. Like once you start liking someone, like even some of the stuff I do now, because I like this guy, I just know I see myself doing different stuff. I'm just like, okay, she said you want
yeah.
Okay.
So do you feel like, just a quick question, do you feel like you guys are ignoring your standards at sometimes? Or ignoring your values?
I don't know about you, but I think not so. I have to point this out. It's not even about, I expected him to pay. I think he's a narcissist. So when he knows how to make things sound. So, he would have jobs. We work a 9 to 5. We earn like, every hour, but he would just do a job and get like 10 grand for it. Okay. He did Big Brother, got 60K for it. So he, for him, he just didn't know how to keep the money. He would get money, he just didn't know how to keep it. So when we're in a 5-year relationship and he's struggling, and we're like, he's like, I've got a job coming, don't worry. For me, it's like,
you're in love anyway.
I'm good. Okay. What am I going to do? No, we're not going to get married.
Yeah.
So
do you know what I mean?
Would you agree that you ignored some of the red flags because of this feeling like I love you?
Some of it is ignored,
I'm willing to let it slide.
Some of it is not ignored because you don't see it.
Yeah.
You don't see it at the time because you're like, the love of my life. We're getting married. Yeah. He was cheating on me on the day of our wedding.
Don't see it or didn't want to see it.
It can go anyway. You just don't want to see it because why would I want to see it? I'm getting married.
Because I stopped the wedding.
you can't see it, and then you can't,
So now that you're dating right now, no?
No, no.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if you're
so
still.
So now I'm very much like, show me your bank statements.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I want to see it. No, not like
I'm
that.
a lot
I want to
and
make
that credit
sure,
report.
not because of like I want to date a rich man. I just want to know what I know what I'm bringing to the table.
What you bring?
Yeah.
I bring good things to the table. I bring security because I can look after myself, and I've kept a 6-year-old alive. I can bring like morals. I can bring respect. I can cook. I can clean. I've got great family. I've got great friends. The support, the village. I can bring trust and everything to the table. So I want the same. So if before I didn't look at that. Before I was like, I love you. I'm meant to be a wife, and I cook and clean. You don't need to do anything because I'm a giver. Wow. And this is how I'm keeping my man.
See, but I still believe in that.
I believe in that,
okay,
but it's
but
what
not
you
at
bring
the
in. Because I
expense.
don't recall him cooking ever.
No, but I'm so sorry. My man's not cooking.
The thing
Oh,
is,
really?
it's not
Nah,
even
it's not
about
his
him
job.
cooking. It's about come help me in the kitchen or something like that, or cook something.
Keep
once
me
in a
company,
blue-
yeah.
Keep me
Or if I'm not at home and
or-
you're hungry and you're like, Grace is not home, let me make myself something cool.
I feel like if you can cook, then some of the day you need to be cooking in the house.
I
Definitely.
think, I think
I'm a bit
just
old-fashioned
about
when it
Yeah,
comes
I'm
to that.
old-fashioned too, but I feel like food and things like that. I mean,
not.
No, that's what I'm saying.
old-fashioned.
That's why I
I'm
said that.
Yeah.
giving something back.
So when
Yeah.
it comes to like the
Receiving
house,
and giving.
I just believe that's
You've
That's
got
your
those
job.
strict like I'm gonna clean, I'm gonna wash your
I'm
clothes.
cleaning, cooking, I'm doing all of that.
so
I'm
where
doing
it,
laundry.
where you're
doing
you're
all
independent as well, and you do everything as well. What do you leave for the guy to do if you're doing everything in the home as well?
So I feel like people get confused of just because you're doing the chores and everything, what is he doing? He's doing everything else. Like the fact that he goes out and makes the money and all of that.
But would you go out and make money?
But that's because I've chosen to.
Okay.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like as women, we focus so much on our stress and our pressures that we don't I have friends that will be telling me, male friends, I'll be like, Grace, I got to do this because I can't ask this. They go through their own pressures. And that's why I'm so careful with whoever I'm going to end up with, because not tooting my own horn, but you are blessed to be with me because
Toot your horn, girl.
because
Toot it.
I'm not
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to do in our home. We are one. We are a team,
Yeah.
right? I want to marry a rich man, but I know why, because I just feel like I want to feel like you've earned me. Because the amount of pressure and upbringing and what I've been through that my mum has instilled into me, you don't get girls like that anymore. Do you understand? Like,
Yeah.
the average girl now doesn't cook. Deliveroo is her best friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, the communication, how I deal with conflict, all of that kind of stuff. The fact that I don't feel like I need to speak over you, or the fact that I don't need to I don't need to attack you when I have an issue with you. Those things has been through my experiences.
You're bringing him peace.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
that's
been
a
through,
big thing.
even though you see me with a straight face and you see me this and that, I know, I think the reason why I have that straight face or anything is because I know myself. I don't need to speak all the time. I don't need to say too much. I know exactly what it is I'm about to do. So for me, when it comes to the house, baby, come home, take off your jacket. Obviously, don't drop it on the floor. But, take off your jacket, all of that. I've got this. Just make me feel like you are my captain and you are my protector.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In
Looking for
all
your
aspects
king.
of our lives. And I will make sure there's always everything you need to feel safe at home. I've got you. That's how
love
I
it.
see it.
So you guys have been married, divorced,
Exactly.
and you guys are living it now. I'm so proud.
I'm just so happy you guys came on and shared your experience, because it's different seeing different, angles of everyone's. Yeah, different
And also
perspectives.
it's like a breath of fresh air. You know,
is.
you guys are really like, you're not bitter about it. You've really come a long
Yeah.
way.
And it's teaching someone else as well. So, somebody who might be going through that at the moment or may go through that in the future, and they're going to see
And
this.
I
So,
think going through the emotions is fine. Being bitter is fine. Being angry is fine. Being upset is fine. I think it's just the balance of when do you go, okay,
I think it's
it's
important
a
to
time
learn how to
kinda-
heal.
how
after.
to heal, how I can manage this, because
Yeah.
going through emotions, I've had people go, well, you get over it now. Like, it's been a while. It's been like 5 years. It's been 4 years. It's
Yeah,
been
but how?
And
And
you're
that's the
like,
key.
okay, how?
Yeah.
I think you start by being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
That's
But
the
I think that's
first
why
step.
I say it's okay to go through emotions, because then you reach that point where you go, okay, I need to be honest.
I need to get
How,
that support.
what
I think
am I,
the-
where am I going?
I
What
think-
should I do?
There's something I call like 5 steps. So you write 5 different lists and 5 different parts of it. So what went wrong, what he
Yeah.
did wrong,
Yeah.
what I did wrong.
Yes.
How could I have
Exactly.
changed it?
Yeah.
What do I want
What
now?
do I do? What, yeah.
And I think that when you write those things, those 5 different, categories, that's the first weight of your.
Yeah.
I love
And then you go through each one and just say why for each one. And then, especially if you feel like you're not ready to go therapy, you can sometimes be your own therapist.
I think so many women will just find so much value in what you just said.
Yeah.
Right. He did wrong. This is
Why?
But I always say start with what you went wrong. Because when
you have to acknowledge yourself
with
first,
what
don't you?
you went wrong first, you're
Take
already calm
accountability.
already. Imagine if you write what he did wrong first, you're already
riled up.
So you're not going to even have a clear state of mind to be honest with
What
what you
about
did
if
wrong.
that person doesn't like know what did it?
You do.
Not me, but I'm
No,
saying
no, not
for
you, but
people that
in general.
She might
but
need
I was
support to get
perfect.
there.
I
No,
did this.
no.
I did this. Like what you said. I cooked, cleaned this.
But there's still other elements she did wrong. Like for me, mine was not listening.
You got to dig.
Yeah,
deep.
yeah.
But I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like I did all the other stuff, yes, but I wasn't listening. Do you understand? And because I wasn't listening, it's why we ended up getting married and why we ended up having kids. Because if I'd listened, we may not have even got there.
Yeah.
So sometimes you could do everything a quote unquote wife needs to do, but what part of your traits?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if I asked him, oh, could you please put this up? If he doesn't do it within 2 days, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Right.
That could be a problem. You don't let me do things you want to control time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm
Not
still
allowing
cooking
him
and
to be the
cleaning,
man,
I'm still
yeah.
doing everything else, but I'm not allowing you to feel like you're needed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm always, every day, I'm basically making you feel like I got this.
Less
Okay, if you got this, let me leave you to it. Then I get upset, like you're not helping me, but you've never given me the space. You think 2 days is enough for you, but it's not enough.
That's
for
your
me.
expectation.
Yeah.
Putting your
Do you know
value
what I
on
mean?
him. Yeah.
So I need some working to do because that's the thing. I feel like if I tell someone, I give them space, but like 2 days. If I've asked someone to like put this here and it takes them 2 days, I'll do it myself.
I'm like that.
You guys are the same.
But now I'm not.
It's
so
not wrong.
I need to understand why.
He's
If your
taking so damn
understanding
long.
is not valid, then it's an issue. But if I've just made an assumption that no, it's not enough, then that's the
I
issue.
do that. I make the
We
assumption.
can definitely talk about that off air.
Listen, you lot have done so good today. You just come back for part 2. We're going to wrap this up now anyway.
Thank
But
you so much.
yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed.
Brilliant.
Thank you for watching today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And we
Like,
hope
comment,
you
and
enjoy.
subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Do it all.
Did I do it right?